So the conventional deadlift, the stiff-legged deadlift, and a Romanian deadlift, they're all different styles of deadlift, hence their different names, and they might be utilized for slightly different reasons. They are all posterior chain movements. Arguably the conventional deadlift is the least of the three in terms of a posterior chain movement, because we're going to get our quads a bit more involved. So I'm going to show you the differences in terms of how they look and positioning wise for each of them. So the conventional deadlift, I'm going to be a bit of a distance from the bar, about an inch or two. As I sit down, my shins are going to meet the bar. So hips are down, chest is up. I'm going to drop my hands down, try to make sure your hands are on the knurling, and that's going to be the same with all of them because that's going to assist in terms of grip. After that, hips down, chest up, stand. Drag the bar up the legs and then back down to the platform. So I'm in this kind of semi-squatted position. I'm not squatting, so try not to misconstrue the deadlift with a squat, or the conventional deadlift. Next, we'll do a stiff-legged deadlift. So I'm actually going to be right on top of the bar this time. I'm going to look for as straight a leg as I can and as neutral back as I can whilst keeping my legs as straight as I can. So there's a little bit of a balancing act between my mobility in allowing those two things to happen. So for me, I probably have to bend my knees a little bit more than the next person who's a bit more mobile via their hamstrings. And so you're probably going to see my background a little bit. I'm trying to keep it as neutral as I can whilst having that kind of subtle bend in my knees. So trying to lock out my back. I'm feeling tension in my hamstrings. I'm trying not to bend them any more than where they're already at. And it's the same principles really now. I'm going to drag up the legs and back down. Repeat. So that's the stiff-legged. It's the same principles in terms of I'm starting from the floor, coming up, coming down, like the conventional deadlift. The Romanian deadlift is actually going to start from the top down. So I'm going to pick the bar up. It doesn't really matter how I pick it up because the movement hasn't begun yet. Then I'm going to come down very similarly to the stiff-legged deadlift, where I'm going to have a subtle bend in my knees. And I'm going to come down. There's two different ways you can approach it. If I want to come down with a bit more kind of glute activation, the glutes are going to be utilized anyway, but if I can kind of like look to favor them a bit more, I'm going to really push my hips back, and you're going to see much more of a bend at the knee, but because my hips have gone back. If I want to favor my hamstrings, again, they're going to be used anyway, but if I want to favor them, I'm only going to have that subtle bend a bit closer to that stiff-legged deadlift I just demonstrated. So I'm going to demonstrate the two versions I've just talked about of the Romanian deadlift. So, like I said, the movement starts from the top down, so pick up, and then from here, the more kind of glute variation, really sticking the hips backwards, roughly mid-shin, and then I'm coming up. So I'm not going to meet the floor. Hips go back, trying to keep a neutral back, and then we'll go with the bit more kind of hamstring biased version, where I'm going to keep my knees a lot straighter, mid-shin and back up. Again, I'm not going to the floor, and much more similar to that stiff-legged version that I showed you. So, kind of 4 different variations I've just shown you there, and the differences between them. Conventional deadlift, stiff-legged, and then the RDL, bit more biased version for the glutes and bit more biased version for the hamstrings. Hopefully that clears a little bit of that confusion up for you.